working as a tutor, Department of Physiology, Sree Balaji Medical College and Hospital. I have 5 publications in both national and international journals. Today we are going to see about liver and gallbladder. So the objectives of today's session is, we are going to see about the structure and functions of the liver, bile formation and secretion, gallbladder filling and emptying, regulation and functions of gallbladder. First we'll see about the anatomical structure of liver. Liver is the largest exocrine gland. It weighs about 1.5 kg in an average adult of 70 kg. It is a wedge-shaped organ. It is reddish brown in color and it is located on the right side of the abdominal cavity beneath the diaphragm. It has 2 lobes, right and left lobe, and blood supply of the liver is hepatic artery and portal vein. The hepatic artery carries oxygenated blood and the portal vein carries deoxygenated blood, which together going to mix up in the liver sinusoids. From the liver sinusoids, the blood is going to drain into the hepatic duct, hepatic vein, and from the hepatic vein, it is going to pass into the inferior vena cava. Next, coming to the nerve supply of the liver, liver is supplied by both parasympathetic and sympathetic innervations. Parasympathetic innervations is by vagus and sympathetic innervation is by celiac plexus. Now we are going to see about the functions of liver. So there are many functions of liver. One is storage, production, which is nothing but the synthesis, secretion, hepatic metabolism, elimination, which is nothing but the excretory function, erythropoietic function, protective immune response, and detoxification. The storage function is nothing but liver helps in storing the proteins, vitamins, and iron in the form of ferritin and copper. Next, coming to the synthesis function, liver helps in synthesis the plasma protein, which includes albumin and fibrinogen. Next, coming to the secretion, liver helps in secreting bile acids, bile pigments, and lecithin. Hepatic metabolism, the metabolism of liver consists of carbohydrate metabolism, fat metabolism, and the protein metabolism. Next, coming to the excretory functions of liver, liver helps in excreting toxic substances like lead, arsenic. It also helps in secreting the drugs which has been ingested into the bile, and it helps in eliminating the cholesterol into the bile. Next, coming to the erythropoietic function, erythropoietic functions of the liver is the RBCs. In the fetal life, the RBCs are produced in the liver, and the protective mechanism, protective immune response. Immune response is nothing but it is going to fight against the invading bacteria into the intestine. Here the Kupffer cells helps, which is lining the liver sinusoids, helps in preventing the invading bacterial invasion into the intestine. Next, coming to the detoxification function, liver helps in detoxifying many substances. For example, it is going to convert toxic substances to non-toxic substances. It is going to convert the activating substances into non-activating substances, and it is going to eliminate the drugs in the process of degradation. Now coming to the bile. So the bile is secreted by the liver. The color of the bile is green or golden yellow in color, and the consistency of the bile is, it is alkaline, and the pH nature of the bile is, it will be maintaining the pH of 8 to 8.6. The composition of bile, we are going to segregate the composition into hepatic bile composition and gallbladder bile composition. In the hepatic bile composition, the water is 97%, it will be having a solid of 3%. So the solids are both organic solids and inorganic solids. In the gallbladder bile, the water content is 86% and in the solid contents are 14%, which includes both organic solvents and inorganic solids. Now we are going to see about the mechanism of bile secretion. So what is the mechanism of bile secretion? We all know the bile salts, sodium and potassium, and the bile acids are going to classify into primary bile acids and secondary bile acids. The primary bile acid consists of cholic acid, chenodeoxycholic acid. The secondary bile acid are deoxycholic acid and lithocholic acid. With the help of this, we are going to see about the mechanism of bile secretion. In the liver, the cholic acid is going, and chenodeoxycholic acid, which is a primary bile acid, going to enter into the intestine. In the intestine, because of the bacterial action of the intestine, the primary bile acid is going to get converted into the secondary bile acid, which is nothing but deoxycholic acid and lithocholic acid. This deoxycholic acid and lithocholic acid again reabsorbed into the liver. So what happens in the liver is, first we'll see about the deoxycholic acid. This deoxycholic acid is going to get conjugate with the glycine. So once it get conjugate with the glycine, it will be giving rise to the glycocholic acid. This glycocholic acid is going to get combined with the sodium and potassium and giving rise to sodium glycolate and potassium glycolate. Now we are going to see about the lithocholic acid. So what happens to this lithocholic acid is, this lithocholic acid is going to get conjugate with the taurine. So once it gets conjugate with the taurine, it is going to give rise to taurochloric acid This taurocholic acid is going to get combined with sodium and potassium, giving rise to sodium taurocholate and potassium taurocholate. So this bile is supplied by both neural mechanism and hormonal mechanism. The neural mechanism includes vagus stimulation, which increases the bile production from the liver, and the hormonal mechanism consists of the secretin, gastrin, and the bile salt stimulates the bile secretion from the liver, and this cholecystokinin will evacuate the bile secretion from the gallbladder. Now we are going to see about the enterohepatic circulation. Enterohepatic circulation is nothing but when the bile salts is going to enter into the duodenum, so the fat is going to absorb in the duodenum. Once the absorption of fat is done in the duodenum, it is further going into the ileum. From the ileum, 95% of the bile salts is going to reabsorbed into the liver. At some point of time, the secondary bile acids will be formed and absorbed from the colon. This 95% of the bile salt which enters into the liver again resecreted into the bile. This process is called as enterohepatic recirculation of bile. Now we are going to see about the functions of bile and bile acid. The main function of bile and bile acid is it helps in emulsification. Emulsification is nothing but breakdown of the lipids into smaller droplets. So the next we are going to see about the digestive role, and next function is lipid absorption. The next function is neutralizing stomach acid, cholinergic effect, prevention of gallstone, cholagogue action, regulation of bile salt synthesis, lubrication. So we have seen about the emulsification. Now we are going to see about the digestive role. It stimulates the pancreas to release fat digesting enzymes. Next, lipid absorption. Due to hydrotrophic effect of the bile salt, the bile salt is going to mix up with the digested lipids. And next is neutralizing stomach acid. It is highly alkaline and it will be neutralizing the acid kind. Next is cholinergic effect. Cholinergic effect, bile salt is going to stimulate the secretion of bile from the liver. Next, prevention of gallstone, cholagogue action, regulation of bile salt synthesis, and finally lubrication. Lubrication is done by the presence of mucin. Next, coming to the gallbladder, it is a pear-shaped organ. It has a capacity of 50 ml. So it is made up of 3 different layers: outer serous layer, middle muscular layer, and the mucosal layer. We are going to see about gallbladder filling and emptying. So first we'll see about the filling. During interdigestive phase, gallbladder is relaxed, sphincter of Vode kept closed, and secretion of bile into the bile duct will be taking place. The pressure will be maintained at 70 mm water, and the bile is going to deliver into the cystic duct. From the after the bile reaches the cystic duct, the filling of gallbladder occurs. So once the gallbladder is got filled, the emptying is going to take place. Bile enters into the duodenum. Contraction of duodenal wall will be taking place. So the common bile duct gets compressed. Pressure can withstand up to 70 mm water. During digestion, the gallbladder contracts. The pressure reaches up to 250 mm water, and the contraction of gallbladder alone will not be doing the emptying process. Contraction of gallbladder, relaxation of the sphincter of Vode, and the opening of lower end of the common bile duct will be causing the emptying of gallbladder. Regulation, it is emptying of gallbladder is done by 2 regulation. One is neural regulation, other one is hormonal regulation. Neural regulation, the stimulation of vagus nerve through the effector ACH causes contraction of gallbladder, and then emptying of gallbladder takes place. Now coming to the hormonal regulation, lipids in the duodenum causes release of CCK. CCK is nothing but cholecystokinin. So this release of CCK will get increased in the blood. So next what happens, the gallbladder gets contracted and the sphincter of Vode will be relaxed, causing the bile enters into the duodenum, which is nothing but emptying of gallbladder. Functions of gallbladder, it helps in storage function, bile concentration function, and lubrication function. It helps in regulation of pressure and alteration of bile pH. We all know about the pH of bile. The hepatic duct bile pH is 8 to 8.6, and the cystic duct, it is neutral. This brings the end of today's session. I'll be meeting you with another interesting topic soon.